So this week, Johnny Depp's attorney is going to cross-examine Amber Heard, and it's going to be very interesting. There's been so many lies that she's told on stand. They're going to have to choose the best ones to question her about because time is very limited. But there are so many lies that they're probably having such a hard time picking out which ones they should choose. So one of my favorite lies that Amber has told, and this is a lie that not many people really know about, but it's about the prenup. During her testimony in the UK trial, she also mentioned that she was the one that wanted to sign the prenup because she knew Johnny made more money and that she knew that it was going to be unfair if, they were to enter in this marriage and she would be entitled to half of it if something were to happen to them. And so she was like,
yeah, I wanted to sign the prenup. We talked to the sister. We had all the documents ready.
And then when the cross-examining lawyer was like, well, if you're saying that you wanted the prenup and Johnny wanted the prenup, how come the prenup was never signed? And this is her answer verbatim. She said,
because it was left on Johnny's team's desk and no one did anything. And someone forgot about it.
So Amber's basically telling us that there is this important document that needed to be signed and someone just forgot about it. This important document that protects his assets if anything were to happen to him or if they were to get divorced. That would have protected the money that would go to his children. And quite honestly, it was so ridiculous and she probably just thought of whatever she can on the spot in the moment and then probably later on was
like, oh damn, that was a really bad lie that I told.
And of course, Team Johnny Depp's lawyer asked, it was left on someone's desk and overlooked. And Amber, as always, she's gonna give a really long, verbose answer to try to conceal what she's really answering. So she says,
I do not presume it was overlooked since a considerable amount of people in his life seem to be concerned about it.
Yep.
But I did hire the lawyer, we drafted it, we sent it, and I did everything I could to make sure that we would be able to get it married at this time.
I hope they ask her this again in the US trial because I just want to see her face and I want to see her lie and squirm about it. Or maybe she'll just do what she always likes to do. Maybe she'll add in some more new information to try to make her story sound more truthful.
Luckily, because he was not, he wasn't with one of those normal, what do you call them, fake lighters. He wasn't very successful at doing it while drinking.
But if anyone else is also reading the court transcripts from the UK trial, it is a shit show. I had to screenshot so many times where she would give a ridiculous answer or where she would give an answer that contradicted her statement or when she started embellishing things that was never mentioned before. So when the cross-examination happens this week, it's going to be very entertaining. Also, I did hear that after Amber Heard testifies, they're gonna have her sister Whitney testifying as well. You know what? I kind of feel bad for her because she just had a baby and this is probably one of the last things she wants to deal with. But at the same time, I don't really feel bad for her because I read the testimony from the UK trial and it's pretty obvious that she's lied for her sister quite a few times. And they got in their stories together and they changed it again to adjust the new evidence that came out. Additionally, Johnny's ex from I think a very long time ago, she's gonna testify. She's a celebrity named Ellen Barkin. Honestly, I didn't recognize the name, but when I Googled search her, I do recognize her face. I've seen her in I think some movies or shows maybe, but I can't really name any on the top of my head. Okay, so here's what we're gonna expect from Ellen Barkin's testimony. She mentioned that Johnny Depp threw a wine bottle across the hotel room, while they're shooting Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. She said there was a fight going on between Johnny Depp and his friends, the assistants or something like that. And then she says, honestly, I can't remember. And then afterwards, she said the bottle didn't hit her. The bottle didn't hit anyone else. And then she says this in her deposition. So the lawyer asks, what was your reaction to Mr. Depp throwing the bottle in your direction? She says, I'm not shocked. And the question was, why were you not shocked? Her answer was this: there's always an air of violence around him. He is a yeller. He is verbally abusive. All of those things you can see. And then the lawyer asks, well, who did he yell at? And then she says his assistant, people who would work on the film, maybe in what he viewed as a lower capacity than what he functioned as. I can't imagine Johnny Depp like this at all. He seems like a very humble dude. He seems like the type of person who would talk to you even if you're a, quote, nobody. And even if this did happen, this was still over 20 years ago. People change. For the fact that they got Ellen Barkin to testify, they're just reaching so hard. I would have thought at this point they would have found a really strong witness, maybe a witness that, maybe there was one ex-girlfriend that dated Johnny Depp and he was actually domestically violent towards her. But I highly doubt that because we would have found that witness during the London trials, or at least that witness would have been named right after Amber Heard instead of having Ellen Barkin on here. But Johnny Depp, he just discredits her and says that it's probably just an old grudge that she had against him because he wasn't interested in pursuing the relationship with her. I don't really see what's the point of having her testify. But again, we don't really have any witnesses who has seen Johnny Depp put his hands on Amber. except for, I think the only one that's ever said anything was Whitney during the staircase incident. Oh, I just saw here, they dated briefly in 1997. That was so long ago. Man, they are digging real deep because they don't have anything. They don't have any good evidence against Johnny. Also, I heard Amber's lawyers are gonna call Johnny to testify again, which is quite interesting because they've already spent a good amount of like hours with him, but they must want to call him up again to have him contradict a story that he told. But I don't know. Do you guys think it's a good idea for them to call Johnny again? I feel like Johnny, when he's on stand, he's quite likable, it seems. And even though he was going through cross-examination with Ben Roddenborn, I still think Johnny was doing a pretty decent job when he was answering Mr. Roddenborn's question without getting too irate, you know? He might have thrown some like jabs and jokes here and there.
Friends and family seriously concerned about him. Here's why.
Yes,
Correct?
How did they know?
From May 1st, did I read that right?
You read that very, very well.
The next one, Hollywood Reporter.
But it's going to be very interesting to see Amber Heard being cross-examined because if you guys saw her 2016 deposition video, her demeanor was very different. She was very arrogant, very haughty, and she just seemed like she didn't have any interest in wanting to be there and she just wanted to get the fuck out.
At any time after April 21, did you call the police about these things you say happened on April 21?
But I think it's my understanding that Camille Vasquez is going to be the one that questions Amber Heard, and I think that's a really good choice instead of having a man do it. And I feel like it's going to be really hard for a person like Amber to keep herself cool, calm, and collected because she seems like the type of person who gets slighted easily. She seems like the type of person who does not like to be contradicted. So I just can't wait to see her getting cross-examined. Oh my God. And like the questions they're going to ask her. Whew.